Hey guys. So, I just took one of the worst subway rides of my life. And it kind of has to do with a person not, being courteous to other people and giving space to others. So, yeah, we're going to start off with that person. So, this is a list of my subway pet peeves. The guy who doesn't frickin' close his legs. So that's what got me upset today because I just want to get a seat on the train like any normal person. I just want to get a seat, but there's a guy who doesn't want to close his legs and takes up like 2 seats worth of space because he doesn't want to close that. And it's just not fair. It's just not fair. It's like I wish I could take up 2 seats worth of space, but I don't because I'm trying to be courteous to the person sitting next to me. And plus, I'm a girl, so I think it would look a little, not as good if I did that. But as a guy, like, no one questions when guys do that because it's just what guys do. Guys don't close their legs. What? Are you serious? But yeah, guys, you need to learn to close your legs, especially when there's like an elderly person or a pregnant lady. Like they still keep their legs open. They won't close their legs unless you say, "Excuse me, I'm trying to sit there," and then they'll do it. And that's sometimes because I've seen guys who just don't do it still, and they're just like, yeah, like they just don't do it. So you need to learn to be a little bit more respectful, guys, on the subway. Just saying. The person who leans on the pole. And when I'm talking about the pole, I'm talking about on New York City subway, there's a pole. Usually there's about 3 in each car. The pole that stands like in the middle of the car. People have the tendency to lean on those. Like lean on them with their butts and back touching the pole so that no one can put their hands on it. Like, especially when it's crowded and you have this like one pole that's free, it's not because this one individual wants to like lean on it and take up all this space, this valuable real estate, so I won't fall on my behind when the train does its weird little turns. Like, it's just not fair. I'm not the type of person that won't hold the pole on the train because like I have really bad balance, so I need to hold something or I'll fall. So I just think it's a little unfair when people tend to hog the pole like that. It's just not courteous. Like the pole isn't meant to be like a body stance machine. It's like it's supposed to be for your hands so you don't fall down. So yeah, and it's not just men who do that, women do it too, and it's just not fair. So, guys, try to be respectful. Just saying. Thanks. People who sing out loud. And when I'm talking about sing out loud, I'm talking about they full out sing. And we already know the song they're listening to because they're freaking iPods all the way up and they have really crappy headphones, so we hear every word of the song anyway. But then you want to sing too? Thanks, guys. Thanks for that. It's early morning. We're trying to get to work, and we definitely want to hear your voice on the train. Definitely. I'm being sarcastic, guys. No one wants to hear anything. I just want to get to where I'm going with this little confrontation as possible because I don't want to deal with it. Thank you. The guy who just won't stop staring at me. Now, this has happened a lot throughout my life as a subway rider, and it's very creepy. It's so creepy because like you don't know if he's really like staring at you in particular or if he's staring at like I don't know, something on your head or something behind you. It's just like I'll make eye contact. This is what happens. I might be looking at like, the window behind him or the sign behind him and you kind of like, get that eye contact moment, but like it'll stay for a moment and he won't look away and I won't look away and then I'll finally look away, but I go back, I'm like, oh, maybe it's over, and he's still looking. He's still looking. It's like I can't deal with this. Like I just want to get to where I'm going. Like I don't want to be bothered on the train. It's like, come on. Please, just let me live. Let me live. Don't do this to me on the train. So as this is happening, I'm just thinking, okay, as long as he doesn't get off at my stop, we're good. We are good. Because I don't have to worry about a stalker, which has happened to me one time. where someone literally followed me home, like literally like a block behind. And when I got home, he was outside my window, like across the street, but he didn't know where I lived in the building. But I could see him like across the street, and he was just kind of standing there, wondering where I had gone. It was like the creepiest thing ever. Oh my god. People with backpacks. Now, I understand you need your backpack. Totally get it. Totally get it. But you could possibly take off the backpack and put it between your legs if you're standing, or like on top of your feet, just so that the people behind you don't have to be hit with your backpack when you decide to turn and do this. You know, on the subway ride, especially if it's crowded, you can kind of keep it on if it's like not too crowded. But I mean, totally your call. Totally your call. But I'm just saying, as it gets more crowded, you might want to take it off. You might want to. People who don't move into the train car. The conductor says it sometimes, like during rush hour, he'll be like, please move into the train car. Use all available doors. Take up that space. Like, he says it. Why do people tend to like just gather right there by the exit doors? Like, there is plenty of room sometimes, like right, like if you go in the middle of the car, like where people are sitting, like the two benches, there's like plenty of space there, and people tend to gather right there by the doors where everyone's like entering and exiting the car, and it's just like not fair. People get pissed off when you don't, like when you're pushing them in, when like, why don't you just move in the car by yourself? It's just like, oh. People who want to put on a show in the train car. Now, usually I don't mind this, but when it's kind of crowded and I'm thinking to myself, how the heck are they gonna put on a show right now? With like this much space, it kind of scares me, especially if I'm like standing up. Like, I don't want to be hit in the face, and I've almost been hit in the face when these people decide to put on these shows on a crowded train car. It's just not fair, and it's stupid, and it doesn't make sense. Like, why would you do this like right now? Please explain that to me. Just explain that to me. Like, you could do this like outside on the platform. You could do this like early on in the day, even though there tends to be less people on the train. But we're thinking about safety here. Just saying. Safety. Usually their performances are pretty good. I tend not to observe that much because I'll be in my own little world. But when I don't have my headphones, I'm forced to watch, and it's usually pretty good. Hand touchers. You'll both be holding the pole, and their hand tends to slowly slide down the pole onto your hand, like so. And for that moment, you're just like, okay, their hand is definitely touching mine. Let me move or adjust. But I mean, and you do, and then their hand tends to slide on down too. That is so freaking annoying. I hate it so much. I'm like, why does this happen to me? Especially when it's like rush hour and you know people are all holding the pole, but everyone knows you give like this much freaking space and you hold on tight so that this does not happen. The sleepers. I mean the side sleepers. Not the people who sleep forward like this, because they're not really bothering anyone but themselves. But when they side sleep, if you're sitting next to them, your shoulder becomes their pillow. Literally. And I've learned in my lifetime that when this happens, you just gotta keep budging. Just budge. Just keep hitting them until it stops. And when you see an available seat, you bolt over there and you get it. And then when they side sleep, they'll fall into the seat. And like it'll keep happening because they're gonna keep like falling asleep, and it just keeps happening, and they wake themselves up. It is like the funniest thing ever. That's it, guys. That's like my pet peeves for the subway. I'm sure there are more, but at the time or at this present moment, I can't think of anything else. But I know there are more. So if you could come up with any more, leave them down in the comments, because there has to be so many more. And I'm just thinking of some more right now. Maybe I'll do a part 2 video of this because, oh man, I can think of so many more. Now I'm thinking about it. Doesn't that always happen to you? Where you're like, you tend to think about it like after, and then you think of like a bunch of different things. All right, guys, take care. Bye.